But we're going to go now to Monique Baker, who you saw before. When we last left her, she had spent 24 hours in jail, and 25 members of Florida's criminal justice system had been on her case already and spent a cost of $500. So let's see what happens next.
August 17, 1989, day 2 in the case of the state of Florida versus Monique Baker. The wheels of justice slowly inch forward. An evidence officer and a lab technician test the purity of the cocaine seized in Monique's case. A state prosecutor is assigned and begins interviewing witnesses. Keep in mind, this is just one of some 11,000 drug-related cases the county will prosecute every year. Monique appears on a closed-circuit television to be advised of the charges against her and says she wants to find her own lawyer. 1 month later, Monique hasn't come up with her own counsel, so public defender Ron Eide is appointed. Monique's record is well known in the public defender's office. This is her first drug charge, but she's been convicted 25 times for theft and forgery and has served several years in prison. Eide is not optimistic.
My success rate on habitual felony offenders, it's not too good.
All rise, please.
46 days after she was arrested, Monique Baker is formally charged in Judge Susan Schaefer's court with trafficking in cocaine. Monique pleads not guilty. A pre-trial hearing is set for 1 month later. It will be Monique's first chance to plea bargain and avoid a drawn-out court trial. Suddenly, 10 days later, it's back to square one. Monique's attorney, Ron Eide, is ordered off the case. There's a conflict because his office is also representing another person who was arrested with her. Enter Judith Ellis, a private attorney hired by the state of Florida to represent Monique. She needs time to prepare Monique's case, so the pre-trial hearing is postponed until December 18th. Meanwhile, back in the clerk's office, there is an avalanche of paperwork. All the court documents for Monique's case and all other drug cases are held here. The office is overwhelmed.
They are working longer hours. We've had to hire more employees, and Pinellas County has had to increase the building capacity.
So 125 days after she was arrested, Monique Baker remains in prison. Her food, clothing, shelter, all paid by the state of Florida. Her case has now taken up approximately 36 hours of Florida's legal system, required the services of more than 80 members of its criminal justice system, and cost the state of Florida more than $8,000.
125 days after she was arrested, Monique Baker finally has her day in court. She has passed from officer to officer, 5 in all, as she makes her way to a holding cell inside the courthouse. The judge offers Monique's lawyer a deal. Plead guilty, and the state will only ask for the minimum sentence, 15 years, of which she'll serve at least 10.
Generally, the best offer comes the time of the pretrial conference. It's kind of like a reward for disposing of the case so that we don't have to go through the trial.
Monique rejects the offer. The state of Florida versus Monique Baker is set to go to trial on January 23rd. Depositions are taken. Subpoenas are served. For the next month, lawyers for both sides start filing motions and counter-motions. At the county clerk's office, documents in the Monique Baker case continue to pour in. Her file is now hundreds of pages long. By mid-January, Judge Susan Schaefer is transferred to a new division. Judge Richard Luce takes over and has to familiarize himself with the case history. Monique's attorney says she needs more time to depose witnesses. And the trial date is postponed to March 1st, which will be 198 days after Monique Baker was first picked up by the police. And after all the preparations and all the expense, many believe that despite her initial reluctance, there will be the inevitable plea bargain.
She confessed. After Miranda, she said she did it. That is not the kind of case that's going to go to trial. So she might tell you that she's going to go to trial, but I don't believe it.
As of today, 184 days after Monique Baker was arrested, the case has taken up approximately 55 hours of Florida's legal system's time, required the services of more than 100 members of its criminal justice system, and cost the state of Florida more than $14,000. Well, that's where the case stands at the moment. We want to go now to Clearwater, Florida, to the Pinellas County Courthouse and talk to Judge Susan Schaefer, who until mid-January was assigned to the case. Judge Schaefer, is this Monique Baker case typical?
Yes, I would say that it's very typical of a drug trafficking case, Mr. Donaldson.
And that means that all of the time and energy and expense is what you have to go through on typical cases like this?
Absolutely.
Why are you so certain, or are you, that there will be a plea bargain at the end of the line?
I'm not certain there'll be a plea bargain at the end of the line. I simply think that she's going to go to, not going to go to trial in this case. She will obviously receive some reward at this stage for not going to trial, and since she's confessed, since she was found with the drugs, I see nothing for her to gain in going to trial since she's already admitted after Miranda that she committed the offense. So I can't be 100% certain, but I'm fairly certain.
Well, might an excellent lawyer get her off on some technicality?
Well, I think in Monique's case that we can assume that Ms. Ellis will file a motion to suppress. In this particular case, they'll be attacking the stop, saying that the police did not have sufficient information, a probable cause to stop the car. Yes, if she is successful in that motion, that would be the end of the case. I don't think that's going to happen from the facts that I know of this particular case, however.
Judge Schaefer, I think a lot of people would like to know whether, in your opinion, someone like Monique Baker, who probably doesn't have a lot of money, who is black, a minority in this country, gets the same kind of justice as someone who does have a lot of money and can hire the best lawyers.
Well, in this particular case, yes, because the amount of drugs involved, the 15-year offer that was made to her was the absolute minimum offer that I could have made her. So white or black, the minimum offer for either one of them would have been 15 years.
Why did you make a minimum offer then?
Well, I thought in this particular case, from, again, what I knew of the total picture and the fact that, frankly, she was somewhat of a mule in the case, somewhat of a person less involved. She wasn't the money person. I think she was, the term mule, I think you know what that means in drug cases, and I was willing to give her a break if she wanted to go ahead and enter the guilty plea at that time. Now, what Judge Luce will do at this stage, or after the motion to suppress, whether he's willing to offer her the 15 years, frankly, I doubt it. I think she'll receive a higher offer than that.
In a word, are you winning the war against drugs in Pinellas County?
No, we're not. We haven't lost the war in Pinellas County, but I don't think we're winning the war. We're trying hard, but we're not ahead yet.
Thank you very much, Judge Susan Schaefer from Clearwater, Florida, from the Pinellas County Courthouse. And we'll be back in just a moment.